I picked up a couple packs of these paper mache jack-o'-lanterns from Factory Direct Craft, and they had these little cones. I think it was like 10 in a pack, and I thought they would be the perfect size for little hats. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do something primitive or just vintage inspired. I didn't really have a goal in mind. I just wanted to play around with the supplies. So throughout this video, you will see me trying out different things, changing my mind. I'm not afraid of throwing things away or starting over. So I encourage everyone to not be afraid of color and don't be afraid to start over at any time. I would also like to note that my nails are horrific, and I have chalk paint on them that will never come off, and I need to get them filled. So I just wanted to apologize in advance if that's triggering for anybody, because I know it is for me. Anyway, I start with the dark paint and slowly build highlights onto it. I like to mix in neon or fluorescent paint as well. It can look jarring, but as you'll see, it blends in really nicely and adds a lot of dimension to acrylic paints, which can just kind of sit on top of each other or get muddy if you keep layering and layering. So I like to mix brands and shades and hues to get the most out of the paints. When I was finished painting, I took them outside and sprayed Mod Podge acrylic sealer on them and left them out to dry for about an hour. once I was finished playing with the hats, I decided I wanted to try a different look for a couple of the pumpkins. I wasn't sure if I wanted them all to be primitive, so I started looking at pictures of vintage pumpkin faces and some folk art interpretations and decided I wanted to try and draw my own. So I needed to cover the cutouts, and I am extremely lazy. So I grab whatever is in my arm's reach. In this case, it was an old envelope, and I cut it up and glued it on with a combination of tacky glue and Mod Podge. And as soon as it dried, about maybe a half hour, the paint went over it just fine. And then I turned it around and drew faces on the other side. So as you can see, I'm just kind of freehanding the faces. And if I thought they were too large or if the scale was off, I just painted over it and kept drawing until I liked it. It wasn't that stressful. Normally I do stress. Like if I'm doing something for someone else, I can really stress myself out. But since I'm just making these for me, I wasn't really afraid to experiment, and I just used basically the paint that I had with me. So just the acrylic paint and the markers. Most of them are oil based, but they covered up just fine using the water based acrylic. So I was able to fine tune the expressions exactly how I wanted them. And it didn't even take that long. seal in the new faces and to cover up or kind of protect the patch job, I used RMP Finishes Paste Wax in brown. I have been experimenting with the wax and I like it, but this brand is cheap. I got it on Amazon as like a little sample size, and I think it would be worth the investment for maybe Jolie's brand, which is more expensive, but it's heavily pigmented and they have a lot of different options. There's like antiquing, aging, black, and it's good for both furniture and crafts. So I think it would be a good investment. And I wanted to use the brown in this so that I could give them more of an antique, aged appearance. I set up a little vignette to show the final versions of the pumpkins. I have not decorated my house for Halloween yet, although now that I've unearthed everything, it's going to happen probably pretty soon. This is in the end of August, by the way. I wanted to kind of focus in on maybe the folk art aspect a little bit and the vintage homey feel. So I went and found all of my wooden spools and bobbins, and I used kind of fall and Halloween colors and ribbons and fabrics to dress them up and use them as risers, which I think came out really cute. And again, it was using stuff that I already had. So it was really low cost, and I think it was effective. And it's easy to move things around with them. And then at the end of the season, I can just take the ribbon and fabric off and reuse them for something else. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for sticking through to the end. I'm hopefully getting better and better with filming, editing, voiceovers. Y'all, it's a lot, and I work full time, but I am trying, and I appreciate you joining me here.